So first things first, we can go ahead and get the battery disconnected. The reason we're disconnecting the battery is to save unplugging electrical connectors whilst the battery is still connected and getting lights come up on the dash. We're not trying to confuse the ECU at the end of the day. Now we can start to disconnect the catch can by unscrewing the AN10 lines and then taking the bolt out for the catch can itself. Now I'm just disconnecting the purge solenoid and its electrical connector, which is a pretty simple job. And there I'm just disconnecting all the cables that link to the throttle body. Now we can get the fuel rail out of the way and continue to remove all the accessories from the intake manifold and bits out of the engine bay so that we can get the throttle body removed and changed over to a new one. The fuel pump needs disconnecting next, and the reason I'm putting the microfiber underneath it is so that I can catch all of the excess fuel that comes out of it due to built up pressure. These clips are an absolute nightmare though, so bear with.
Oh, that smells fucking great.
Next, we're doing a quarter turn at a time, once again on the banjo at the bottom of the fuel pump which connects the fuel line. If you know this channel and this car, you'll know how many times I've had to do quarter turns to get certain bolts off due to limited space. I guess that's the game we're playing with German cars.
Finally, can we get to that one yet? No, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. They can stay plugged in. two. This one. So I've got a little T30 bit. Is that undoing? No, that's tightening. On a ratchet. This one is so hard to get to. But we got her. And it is out. What are they? T30s? Yeah. Alright, let's crack a load of these off.
Now it's time to start removing the intake manifold bolts from the head of the engine. There's 9 of these in total, 7 being long T30 bolts and 2 10mm nuts on either side of the intake manifold. Some of these bolts are an absolute nightmare to get to, so I suggest you have a strong magnetic T30 bit because it will make your life a hell of a lot easier if you're doing this yourself. As you can see, I'm struggling. It's a very fiddly job, especially when you've got massive bits of plastic in the way.
Oh, there's one. Another one in there.
These are probably the 2 hardest bolts to get to. There's a very small gap in which you need to get a long T30 bit in order to undo them.
There's another one. Right, there's also some 10mm. There's one 10mm in there. And another 10mm there. I can get that one from the side. Tell you what, actually, let me.
Now I'm just going to go ahead and remove all of the remaining bolts from the intake manifold. And then we can go ahead and take the intake manifold off with the throttle body.
Right, now I need a 10mm. There's one. There's the other one. Now, yeah, that's all loose, which is good. There's a sensor or 2 around this area. That one needs to come off anyway. Don't want to break it. Right, that one's out.
So now that the intake manifold is loose, we can go ahead and get all the sensors underneath the intake manifold disconnected. and then we can start to get the throttle pipe disconnected. It is just a Jubilee clip holding this on, so either a flathead screwdriver or 7mm socket will do the job just fine. My throttle pipe is actually being held on with an extra 2 Jubilee clips due to me breaking the OEM one.
Okay, so I managed to get it off with some great strength and help from a screwdriver, and hopefully that is enough. I don't know why there's so much oil in there. Right, now we should be good. Finally got it disconnected. Honestly, that has got to be one of the hardest connectors that are on this car. There we go. Oh, I'm going to leave that injector. Yeah. Do I take it out? I'll leave it in there. Right. That is what we are changing. I've only been in there like 1,000 miles and they look that bad. So, welcome back people to the shared shed. If you guys know what I'm talking about, this is the shared shed. Got a hat here because I'm on the camera. But we have, no we don't. In this box we have a new throttle body. Now hopefully this is going to fix our issue. But first we need to get this one off. So let's go ahead and do that. I think it's literally just 4 T30s. I'm going to whack it on the extension.
So as I just said, it's simply 4 T30s which you just undo, and that then splits the throttle body away from the intake manifold, allowing us to change it.
Now I'm hoping when this is off, I'm going to see something that visibly tells me that it's broken. However, I am a little bit worried if it doesn't. If this doesn't fix it, then it's going to be some sort of sensor, or it could be the throttle pedal. So we've got a couple of things to try, but this was just my first thing that I wanted to try. This second-hand throttle body was literally £15 on eBay as well. So I'll start with the cheapest. I mean, cheapest probably would have been some throttle body cleaner, but it's not that bad of a job getting it off. I am just going to double check the part numbers as well before I fit this. There we go. Throttle body is off. There's all 4 bolts. I mean, it doesn't even look horrendous. That still works. I mean, that build-up is quite bad. I'll just give that a clean as well. Check the part numbers. That's a Continental one, and mine is Siemens. Where's part numbers? 06F 133062J. That one is actually a little bit newer. Yes, apart from that, that's probably just batch number. I could replace them as well with those ones. So they are a T20. Then back in there, just in case it isn't actually that throttle body that's broke and I need to swap it back. Okay. Now, if you're doing this yourselves, you want to make sure that you tighten them down evenly, because there is a green gasket in there. So you just want to be a bit mindful that everything is going down evenly.
As I just mentioned, make sure these get tightened down evenly, or you may have an air leak where your throttle body connects to the intake manifold, which is not something we want.
Right, that's all installed in there. Okay, so we are battling against the weather here. So one of the first things I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get the injectors out of the head and put them back in here. And then get the intake manifold. Now I'm hoping this is gonna kind of sit on there.
Now, getting this intake manifold back on was an absolute pain. I decided to put the silicone throttle pipe back in place so that when I put the intake manifold into place it could slide back on, but this was never going to be as easy as I thought. I must have spent about 30 minutes trying to squeeze this into place, and we got there in the end and managed to slide it on. Now we can go ahead and connect all the accessories back up to the intake manifold and get it all bolted back into place, doing the exact same thing we did to get it off, but in reverse. Now we can go ahead and get the main intake manifold bolts reinstalled back into the head of the engine. These bolts do have a torque setting, but just use your common sense. It's plastic going into metal, so don't over tighten them and you'll be alright. Also make sure that these are tightened evenly too to ensure a clean seal with the gasket.
I'll just double check that all of these tight. Do that one next. Do that one.
So as you can see, I'm just snugging them up, and then in a second we'll go through and we'll tighten them all.
Yeah, happy with that. And yeah, happy with that.
I'm just using my hose clamps now to reconnect the fuel line back up to the high pressure fuel pump, and we can get on with connecting all the other connectors and reconnecting all the necessary lines that we took off at the beginning. And there you see, simply just slides back on. Those hose clamps are a lifesaver.
I hate these clips, man. They're the worst design things ever.
So after getting all the accessories put on, one of the final pieces to the puzzle is getting the oil filter reinstalled back into the oil filter housing. And then once we've done that, we should be good to go. And this is actually a doubled up Jubilee clip that we are putting onto the throttle pipe due to the OEM one breaking, as I said earlier.
This is where I really wish I had a power tool. Oh gosh. My back. Finished, mate. Absolutely finished. Right, now hopefully that is everything that we need. I just need to get the catch cam back on. I do want to try and get these to go in a bit smoother. I know this one I had troubles with. So if we do this one first. there is 2. Just give that a little snug up. There we go. Right. Okay, so we have the laptop and VCDS ready for this. Now we just need to get the battery reconnected back up. Okay, battery is connected. Okay, so we've got VCDS loaded up now. I'm just going to put the ignition on. Okay, so we'll put the ignition on, and first of all, do we want to scan first or select control module? Engine, go to basic settings, 060, let's run that. ADP OK. Click done, go back. Close controller, go back, and now let's scan. Okay, so 5 faults found. Fine. Intake manifold flap position sensor, yeah, that's fine. Throttle position sensor. Angle sensor 2 for throttle. That's ABS, that's fine. Oh, was that all engine? If I close that and then exit. Right, let's pray that this is all alright. Nope. Oh. Good, bad, maybe. needed a little kickstart, but let me just hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm expecting the swell flap sensor code to come back on. I mean, the annoying thing is I'm not going to really know until I take it for a drive, but if I take it for a drive and then it comes back on or the car breaks down, then I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me just have a look under here. What is that noise? So now I'm going to take it for a little drive. Oh, I've missed driving this car. It's only been a couple days.
And unfortunately, that does just about bring us to the end of this video. As always, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I will see you next Sunday for the next upload on the channel.